So I have an interloper. This guy just showed up out of nowhere. He's like, please put me on a video on your channel, Austin. Please, please, please. Zach, how are you, brother?
What's up, man?
So we are here to talk about Shibarium. This is a Shibarium update. I'm going to tell you up front that this is something you need to be aware of, but it's really not a big deal. A little bit of that, but we are going to really, more importantly, talk about Shibarium and how it is the backbone. By the way, I've officially stolen that word from Zach. So just saying. So what's your opinion here, Zach, of the major event that happened? And let me pull it up. Here you go. So this is the major event. Tell the viewers what we're looking at here.
Yeah, so people love alpha too, right? I mean, anytime we can get any kind of news, especially with Shibarium, it's been something we've all been waiting for a while. So apparently this surfaced for just a couple minutes, maybe even a couple seconds, and people were able to screen grab this. And it looks like Shitoshi was testing, Shibarium here. And it says the post is simply to test Twitter's algorithm for the website. And that's the new Shiba Swap website in preparation of the Shibarium release. It wasn't out there very long, but people were able to screen grab this. And basically it shows us that, hey, things are being developed. We're getting closer. And what does Shitoshi always say? Soon.
Yeah, soon. So there's people that are going to read into this like, well, why did they pull it down? Why did they delete it? And it's a test thing. This is a test. This is a test related to the upcoming Shibarium launch. That's really the big lead story here. I think this is, to me, this is fuel for the fire that they are getting closer. That's really it. So don't read into the fact that it was put up and it was deleted. It was part of a test phase. There you go. Okay.
Yep.
So what do you think, Zach, Shibarium? I love that backbone scenario. I mean, if you had to paint a picture, Shibarium backbone of the ecosystem, kind of what's that look like and the value there?
Well, I think so. Whenever you look at some of the top projects, they have their own blockchain,
right?
And it kind of separates you from relying on, say, Ethereum or the Binance Smart Chain. And there's a lot of great tokens there, right? And a lot of great tokens with great utility. But when you have your own ecosystem, there's something that just, from an investor standpoint, it's like, wow, okay, Ethereum, right? It's its own thing. And I think this does it for SHIB, right? It's going to run on top of Ethereum still, similar to like what Polygon does as an L2, but it enables transactions to be faster, hopefully gas fees to be less. You could do more things inside your ecosystem, not worrying about congestion on the Ethereum network. We saw what happened, with their Shiboshi NFT release.
Yes.
If you guys remember, that was a crazy gas war that happened because the Ethereum network at that time was congested. We were in a bull run and people were, quite frankly, pissed off, right? They paid so much in gas to get those NFTs. The next NFT release, if and when released on Shibarium, which I'm assuming it would be, you wouldn't have that issue. Right. So, and then we can get into the metaverse and how that's going to be tied in and the e-commerce side of things. So, but I think more than anything, man, it's the next phase for SHIB is to have their own blockchain. And I know some people say, well, technically it's not their own blockchain. Understand that, but it's an L2. It still is a, side chain, if you will, that's theirs.
Yeah.
I
mean, I would argue that point. I know why they're saying it's not an L1, it's an L2, but to me, that's you're splitting hairs, right? I mean, if to use your, maybe Shiboshi version 2, the next NFT drop, instead of paying $500 or astronomical fees in gas, which is what it was back then, people were paying, I think there was one guy, people were paying $1,000, $1,500 in gas to guy a, and so, and we're getting estimates, for example, that the gas could equate to 2 cents.
Right.
To, per transaction. So for you to buy a Shiba, it would cost you 2 cents worth of bone, but but equivalent. But so because that's the token. Go ahead. What?
Here's the other thing too. I mean, we know how much volume comes through, Shiba Inu every day. Now, some of that's on the centralized exchange side, but think about if all that DEX, let's even say 50% of the DEX volume just starts going through Shibarium. Well, now we're burning Shiba Inu too, because that's something Shitoshi said. So what that percentage is, we all know, but you're nobody incentivized to use Shibarium when you buy and sell. Why not?
Yeah. And I mean, Shiba Swap, V2 version 2, when they do launch Shibarium with the mainnet launch number, and then just to clarify that. So let's say we do get a Shibarium launch February 15th, which is kind of the guesstimated time there. that's going to be a beta testnet launch. It's not going to be a mainnet launch. Beta testnet is exactly what it sounds like. It is a test version to go out, test it, find bugs, set the validator network up, all those scenarios.
Yep.
When they go live with mainnet launch, we've been very clearly told that Shiba Swap V2 is going to run on top of Shibarium. To your point, all of that transactional DEX trading volume will run through Shibarium, and we will be carving out tiny little, I call them microtransactions that will be, added into the retro burn scenario to burn SHIB. It's a good stuff.
100%. Yeah.
I mean, it's just, I think you cannot underestimate the power of Shibarium and what it's going to do. And oh, by the way, we haven't even really touched on it, and I do want your opinion on this. dApps, they're opening up the ability for decentralized dApps apps to be developed and deployed by outside companies, projects, individuals, for all, from everything from other gaming, other metaverse, other NFT, other DeFi. I mean, all that stuff and all that transaction runs through Shibarium.
100%.
And oh, by the way, I'm sure there's fee structures and to develop and deploy and, all that kind of stuff. So what's your opinion on that? We'll wrap up with that. What's your opinion on the dApps side of it? Because nobody's really talking about that yet.
No, it's a great point. And I think, why is Ethereum so strong? It's because they have a very similar situation. A lot of people deploy their dApps and, various applications on the Ethereum mainnet. And it's same thing here, right? Now, Shibarium won't be as big as Ethereum, obviously, right out of the gate. But I think it'll be pretty big. I mean, considering we've almost got 1.3 million holders in the SHIB ecosystem now. And as you mentioned, more and more people can then deploy dApps within the Shibarium ecosystem. I love it, man. I mean, this is the next step. This is the next phase for SHIB to really once and for all move away from just a meme. Just a joke.
You know how I feel about that. So
yeah.
that's been gone.
That's how it started, but we've come along. Yeah, come along.
It has, man. And I think that I like what you said at the beginning of this. You basically but you talked about the fact that, the layer 2, their own blockchain, whether it's an L2 or not, to me is irrelevant. It's their own blockchain. And I think that the projects that are out there that are developing and deploying their own layer 2s, their own blockchains, and or like Cardano, their own blockchains are, I think it's a sign of times to come that you will see more and more of their own respective blockchains. That's going to create congestion in the marketplace, and that's going to create kind of I think what I'm trying to say, and I want your opinion here before we wrap up, is that you'll see cross-chain. I think you'll see, a project will develop and deploy cross-chain where it's applicable. They'll develop for Ethereum. They may deploy on Ethereum and on Shibarium for whatever reasons.
Really good point. Yeah.
But I mean, I think you are going to see, what am I trying to ask you? I'm trying to say, it's just like the metaverse, right? If everybody comes out with their metaverse, which ones are you going to really use? And I think you're going to see people start to silo. What's your 2 cents there?
Yeah. And I think, you mentioned gaming earlier too, and I think there's a great opportunity there with Shibarium. I mean, don't forget Shiba Eternity will eventually run through Shibarium too. But I mean, I think other games that maybe could, be a branch off of Shiba Eternity or even standalone. There's just a lot of opportunities, and I think you just look at anybody who has their own blockchain. You just look at them differently. You look at them as, okay, they have staying power now because they don't rely on anybody else. They control their ecosystem.
I agree. All right, man. Well, I appreciate you stopping by. And so thank you guys for giving us a few minutes. Hit that subscribe button. We'll see you. Take care. Bye.